This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with Piper assisting me on this daily news update. And she's got her sweater on because it is like -8 Celsius out there, -14 with the wind chill. We're getting February weather tonight here in Ottawa, Canada, minus the snow. We had some snow, but it melted. But tonight it is just brutally cold. And as far as the daily wrestling news, Raw, where they did the big rematch between Randy Orton and the lowest rated WWE champion of all time, Drew McIntyre. They were actually down in the rating to a 0.51 rating. And of course, McIntyre, who actually cares about breaking kayfabe more than he does about getting over, of course, did an interview today saying the sword that he came out with that everyone thought was cool was not actually his sword. Piper wants to go down. Mwah. It was actually Vince McMahon's sword. So, of course, he's going to let everyone know that because he loves breaking kayfabe. Miz and Mrs. last airing actually did a 0.23 rating, which is much better than NXT does most weeks. Andrew Yang, who is a politician, had a statement regarding the Screen Actors Guild discussion of unionizing wrestling, that wanted to talk to wrestlers basically about joining their union potentially. He says pro wrestlers joining the Screen Actors Guild makes a lot of sense to him. They star in some of the highest rated TV shows each week. He does have a point. They follow a script, especially in WWE. They refer to their talent as storytellers or performers. They perform stunts like stuntmen do in movies, choreographed stunts, which often don't have stunt coordinators like you would have in movies. But on the other hand, there's thousands and thousands of acting jobs. Whereas in wrestling, there's like, 200 to 300 actual good paying wrestling jobs in the United States, because there sure as hell aren't any in Canada unless you're a wrestling reporter. There's no full-time wrestling jobs in Canada. Mexico there is, Japan there is, but really Ring of Honor, WWE, and AEW is where you can make decent pay, but not everyone is paid well in Ring of Honor, and very few people are paid well in Impact. So the problem with unionizing is it's hard to fire people. And if you do get fired, as I explained in a previous update, I was once wrongfully terminated while I was going through my second hepatitis C treatment because somebody had made up lies about me, which was proven in the arbitration was lies. But the problem was it took 4 years for the union to get me my job back. Maybe it was even 5. And because I worked in between, because I had to earn a living, they subtracted my earnings from the pay I would have made. So my ultimate funds that I got back was only like 25 grand. And I had to do shitty jobs in between. So there's a lot of bad things about unionizing. And from an entertainment standpoint, keeping those wrestlers that really are stale with jobs. Like, let's say they had to take, who was that blonde-haired guy, Ellsworth? Let's say because of a union, he might still have a job today where there's wrestlers like Davey Boy Smith Jr. that aren't in WWE. So there would be advantages and disadvantages. But because there is no union, they could get rid of Ellsworth once he's run his short course, and so many others that are only really good for a short period of time. And some people lose their entertainment value over time. As far as my interviews coming up, I have Ken Patira Part 2 coming up at 6 p.m. Saturday. Billy Silverman, former WWE and WCW official, is going to be the head official for the North American Wrestling Alliance for their relaunch with that big show December 19th, the Ocean Center in Daytona, Florida. Tickets are on sale now for that, and it's also going to be on Fight TV. Davey Boy Smith Jr. is going to be on that. Jimmy Hart, the Blood Hunter with Kevin Sullivan, Gangrel. It's going to be a very interesting event in Daytona Beach, and Billy Silverman is going to be talking to me about that and his career tomorrow. DDP Friday at 1 p.m. Rick Bassman at 10:30 p.m. Thursday is going to go in depth on the Ultimate Warrior and Sting and Power Team USA. So if you guys want to ask him questions, tune in live at 10:30 p.m. on Thursday. Darren Young, I interviewed earlier tonight. That was a very well-received interview. And as far as my TV show, the Hannibal TV show, that debuts this Friday, Channel 250 here in Canada on Zingo TV. Some people have asked how they can watch it internationally. There is a Zingo TV app that you can get on Google Play or the App Store. It's also going to be in audio form on the Barn Burner network. So, yes, Zingo TV is not Fox. It's not NBC, but I need experience with a TV show. I got to start somewhere. I'll have a producer for this. I'll have strict times. They'll give me some guests. I'll get to choose some of my own. My highest tipper so far in the last 7 days is Bill at $75. So far, Bill is going to get this show dedicated to him. He may have even tipped me more than 75. It might be $100. So unless somebody tips me more than that, that's what the TV show is going to be dedicated to. Every Friday it airs at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Zingo TV and the Zingo TV app. And whoever tips me the most between Saturday and the following Friday, I will plug them during my TV show and say at the start of the show, the TV show is dedicated to them. And some people said, Hannibal, that have seen the promotional graphic for it, which I posted in the YouTube stories at the Hannibal TV. Hannibal, you hate Hulk Hogan. Why is he in the promotional graphic? He is not in the promotional graphic. The guy in the promotional graphic is a comedian who does a Hulk Hogan impression and sometimes dresses up as Hulk Hogan. He also does Macho Man impressions and other wrestling impressions. He's been on Just for Laughs, many TV shows. He's interviewed many wrestlers over the years too and worked with wrestlers. Jimmy Mack. So no, it is not Hulk Hogan. It's a buff comedian that dresses like Hulk Hogan. For you haters out there saying Hannibal is shamelessly using a picture of Hulk Hogan. Well, I guess Jimmy Mack, the comedian, is really going to be happy that you actually believe that he's Hulk Hogan. But just look at the tattoos. If you're a true Hulk Hogan mark, you would know Hulk Hogan does not have those tattoos. But again, the Hannibal TV show, I'm really excited about it on Zingo TV. It's a step in the right direction, and it's a new audience I'm going to reach, and there's going to be a wide variety of guests. Anthony Shabbat says congratulations on that show. XX Evil 5XX is hi. That's my kind of fan right there. Fred S. watched I don't want to talk about that dork. Sorry. Not Fred X, but the guy that he's bringing up. Dragon Chaser says a lot of WWE talent don't make much money after taxes and expenses. For my Abdullah the Butcher lawsuit, which was we won that back in 2013. My lawyers got a list of what WWE talent was paid back then, and the girls made a little less than the guys. but like the lowest paid WWE talent was making in the hundreds of thousands a year. And now they only work 1, maybe 2 days a week. And apparently house shows aren't coming back. So as a guy that's worked in the support field where I've actually had to deal with developmentally delayed individuals attacking me and cleaning up their piss and shit, working in a sawmill, breathing sawdust, getting sawdust on my back for $12 an hour, where I've seen people get their fingers cut off working there, which is fucking brutal. Working as a bouncer for 60, the most I ever made as a bouncer was like 150 a night, I guess. Getting attacked for real. I don't feel bad for people that work once a week. If they get injured, they get surgery the next day. They have catering. They don't even have to think about their matches because they're mapped out for them. I don't feel bad for them. Sorry if you... I feel bad for the people that are starving in this world, and there's a lot of people losing their jobs from this COVID stuff. I lost my main job. I haven't been laid off yet, but my job in the real world, my shoot job, so to speak, for everyone that seems to think shoot only means fight. No, wrestlers have shoot jobs too. Because some people were hassling me over something using the word shoot a couple days ago. But I haven't worked since like January or February. But thank God my YouTube has grown, and I'm making a living off of wrestling and as a reporter. Thank God. Chris says, "Wow, that's all for the 0.51 rating." Nicholas asked my thoughts on Zelina Vega's firing. From what I understand, these wrestlers sign contracts that have to be reviewed by lawyers before they sign. They have to be notarized. They know what they're getting into when they sign with WWE. She was told by WWE, who, by the way, gave her TV time, made her a star, made people actually want to sign up to her personal social media, that she would have to close the Twitch and OnlyFans because they were mandating that rule. And instead of waiting for her contract to renegotiate, that she could have that or work it until it finalized, she chose to just not close them. And from what I understand, they released her. I had never heard of her until this. I heard she was a shitty wrestler, but a good talker. So she made the choice. It's just like any job. In my shoot job, if they told me that I couldn't have a YouTube channel because I'm too controversial, you know what? They might give me that choice and I might get fired. It's a choice that she personally made. Everyone has it. Dragon says, in some ways unions are good and in some ways unions are bad. Yes, as I previously stated, if I was in a non-unionized job and I had been fired while I was on disability leave for hepatitis C treatment, I would have had it taken care of faster hiring my own lawyers instead of having to wait 4 or 5 years and go through 9 arbitration hearings over something that a person lied about, which they discovered at the hearings, by the way. But I won't get into that. I'll save all that for the book. Crypto Spasm tipped me $5, says, I need a Chelsea Green interview now that she's laid up. She still works for WWE. That's an advantage. Unlike indies, you don't get paid if you don't work. But in WWE, you do. So there's benefits to that job, by the way. And I'm not a full-on WWE supporter. I'm neutral. But there is benefits to working for that company, and WWE does not let me interview their talent. So that's why. But there is, by the way, Crypto, an interview with Chelsea Green on this channel. Search it up. There's also a match with her and Tessa Blanchard. Pete says Jesse Ventura was trying to unionize wrestling back in the 80s. But Selena Vega is getting more popular for doing it. Jesse is more popular and still is. And Jesse ultimately got his Screen Actors Guild union card. Pete, you can get my TV show in the UK through the app, the Zingo TV app, which I'll pin it to the top of the comments. I did put it at thehannibaltv.com. The app is free to download. Barlight Broker does not like Hulk Hogan's tattoos. Chad says Tony Khan does Cody Rhodes booking. According to an interview Tony Khan that I listened to, an interview he did with the Wrestling Observer, he's one of the bookers. Cody's one of the bookers. John Moxley has booking pull. Chris Jericho has booking pull. Kenny Omega has booking pull. And the Young Bucks have booking pull. And the younger guys, and Christopher Daniels too, they can go to any of those guys with booking ideas. So yes, Cody Rhodes is one of the bookers. He provides booking ideas. Chris congratulates me on the Hannibal TV show. Dragon likes Harry, the British Bulldog. Smith. UGCTV1 says congrats on the TV. You can get it again in New York City. You won't get the TV channel, but you can download the Zingo TV app. So anyone internationally that wants to watch it, download the Zingo TV app, and you can watch it Fridays from 6 to 7. They're going to be giving me some guests. I'll be bringing in some guests. And Mr. Burns 29, who is my favorite jobber? Oh, boy. That is a tough one. Well, even though Les Thornton was an NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion, he did enhancement work for WWE. So I guess I would say him because I knew him personally and I really liked him. Legitimately tough guy. Dennis is about to smoke. By the way, Darren Young is a big smoker too. Media Palace wants more UFO and paranormal stuff. I will get into that sometimes on my TV show, by the way. But I am working on stuff for this channel very soon. Do I get full creative control on my new TV show? Not full, but a lot. PW909, anyone complaining about 100K, try roofing. Yeah, you know what? I know a lot of my friends do jobs like roofing and labor jobs. I've done landscaping. I've worked at a factory that used to destroy magazines where you're carrying literally boxes of magazines all day. And then that job, I made $9.50 an hour. And you know what I got fired for at that job? Here's a funny story, okay? It was such a draining, tiring job. And at that time, I was also wrestling training and working out. The only thing that kept me awake was moving. So one day I was so tired. They had a meeting at this box magazine destroying factory job. And I was so freaking exhausted that I fell asleep in the meeting because I stopped moving. And I woke up, and this is actually funny. I woke up, and the person holding the staff meeting said, "That's the most insulting thing anyone's ever done, falling asleep during a meeting when I'm talking," okay? And then like 5 minutes later, I guess I fell asleep again, and I woke up, and they're like, "Devon, sorry, you're fired." And honestly, I did find a security job that was better suited to my wrestling training after that. But it was just funny, like after saying I just given them the biggest insult ever, I fell asleep in front of them again 5 minutes later. But it's because I was exhausted, and that was a job that started at like 5:30 in the morning too. And it was brutal. Dennis thinks the best jobber is Cody Rhodes. Well, he's a booker. So he books himself to be champion more often than not. Then something wants to see Ultimate Dragon versus Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle is going to be – he told me he'll do an interview with me in February. So we'll see. By the way, the One Man Gang, aka Akeem, is doing an interview with me Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. I tracked him down, okay, after years of looking for him, only to find out when I talked to him today for an extended period of time that he's actually a fan of this channel. And he's actually very excited to do the interview with me. And I think it's going to be a very extended interview. So Monday at 4, he watched my Bill Alfonso interview, and he says he liked the fan questions. So he's very much into the fan questions. Crown King of France, why did WWE mandate the rule for the talent to close their third-party accounts? Because they promote the talent and they want to get, I guess, create their own forms of these third-party accounts so they can get a cut of it since they promote the talent. So that's why, from my understanding, they mandated the rule. They're not doing house shows anymore. Yes, they have a lot of revenue, but the fact of the matter is the popularity of the product is not great. The future, to me, maybe for all the old footage might be okay, but for the new stars, there's no new John Cena. There's no new Steve Austin. There's no new Hulk Hogan. There's no new Ultimate Warrior. There's no new Undertaker. So they've got to protect themselves as much as they can. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying when talent renegotiates, they can choose to not re-sign with them. But when you work for any company and they mandate something, it's part of the job. It's part of the trade-off. You get to travel the world. You get to become a worldwide star. You have a fun job. It's fun to wrestle. I personally love wrestling. So people that get to work in the entertainment industry on a very light schedule right now, I have very little pity for them. I work a hell of a lot. Like now I work constantly. So I don't have pity for people that work one day a week. Please, I'm not going to, answer these Cody Rhodes questions. I've got no respect for him. He's a chicken, the American chicken, as someone wrote. Dennis feels the WWE business peaked in 97 when they did the Canada versus USA angle. Funny enough, even though you may have found that entertaining, as a fan, I was going to house shows in 97, and I was at the Survivor Series, which there was empty seats at the Survivor Series. I don't know if they called it a legitimate sellout or not, but the next night in Ottawa, where it was supposed to be the Canada-US feud continued, it wasn't anywhere close to sold out. There was maybe 10 or 12,000 in an arena that could fit almost 20,000. So years later, when Steve Austin got over even more, like 99, 2000, 2001, that arena had more fans for house shows. So Austin's era did have a huge drawing peak. Twada Majesi, is Drew the worst drawing champion due to the pandemic? He is a terrible champion. He was a terrible champion for the simple fact that he continuously breaks kayfabe because he's never had to worry about having to draw because these guys get guaranteed contracts. So I'm not a fan of him for those reasons. So I'm going to go use my punching bag because it's in the negatives out there. And I got some aggression to take care of, hitting the old punching bag. Also getting practice because you never know when you're going to get attacked. Chris, was I surprised that WWE put over AJ Styles so well after being the poster boy for TNA? No, not at all. Barlight Broker telling me to lift. I already lifted today. I did chest. And unfortunately, you're only allowed to work out one time a day here in Ontario right now. You have to make appointments to work out. And AJ Styles is like I'll say he's a great wrestler, and I pinned him twice in one night. By the way, that match has over 100,000 views here on the Hannibal TV. He is a great wrestler, but not better than me because I beat him. So that means that I'm a better wrestler than AJ Styles. So have a great night. One Man Gang interview coming up 4 p.m. Monday, DDP 1 p.m. Friday. Those are going to be some pretty big ones.